there, welcome along to Hive Live Extra, your place for exclusive reaction and analysis following Watford's 1-1 draw with AFC Bournemouth. So ultimately a late equaliser from Chris Mepham, cancelling out Stipe Perica's early strike for Watford. Here to talk through the game, back in the studio once more, we've got the former Hornets defender Paul Robinson and fresh from commentary duty, Tommy Mooney also with us. Robbo, we said before the game, probably take a point. On reflection, is that still the same?
Yeah. Fair enough result in the end, I feel. Bournemouth were very dominant in the first half towards the end of it, and then the second half they were pretty much in control with their possession, and the players that they brought on just brought that extra dimension to them in an attacking sense. So yeah, I feel that Watford probably will look at it and it's a good point in the end.
It's really tough, isn't it, to concede a late equaliser like that, Tommy, but on reflection, do you think it's fair that the points were shared?
Yeah, I do. I agree with Robbo. I think when Bournemouth score late and salvage a point, they leave with a positive mindset, where because we've held on for so long, because we scored so early, it's difficult not to be negative over it. But I think you have to take out of the positives out of the game, and there were several for me. We never played as well as we have done in recent games, but nevertheless there were some individual performances that were certainly improvements.
Well, we'll talk about those individual performances shortly and look at the game in a bit more detail. But for now, let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Well, we're underway with Watford attacking the Vicarage Road end in this first half. Similar fashion perhaps to Troy Deeney. Now Cathcart's found Sarr with an excellent crossfield ball. And Sarr with an early ball in. It's Perica! Stipe Perica marks his first league start with his first league goal for the Hornets, his first Watford goal. Great cross from Sarr, the diagonal switch from Craig Cathcart finding Sarr, and his ball was inch perfect. Perica finds the bottom corner, and Watford are ahead again at Vicarage Road early on. Watford 1, Bournemouth 0.
Well, it's the advantage of having that focal point striker. He always stays in the middle of the pitch. Didn't quite hold it up, but the midfielders have won it back, and it's a fabulous ball in from Sarr. And it's one of those almost where you're just going to scream at him to roll it in between the defenders and the goalkeeper, and it couldn't be any better, the ball.
Capoue demanding it, finding cleverly. Capoue again, and he drives it forward looking for Sarr, and Sarr's inside the penalty area. Ismaïla Sarr for Watford, great save from Begovic, comes back to Sarr again, looks for Perica, it's under hit and Kelly can clear. Well, almost out of nothing there, Ismaïla Sarr found himself clean through. That's a really fine save with his right hand there from Asmir Begovic. In comes the corner, Kabasele and Ekong both meet it at the near post. Comes back to Riquelme on the half volley. Towards the near post, Foster claws it away. It comes to Lloyd Kelly and it's turned in by Chris Mepham from a yard out. And Bournemouth have an equaliser in the 5th minute of injury time. Somewhat ironic that Lloyd Kelly, who shouldn't be on the pitch, plays a role in the goal, but it's Chris Mepham who turns it over the line from close range, and Bournemouth have an equaliser late here at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Bournemouth 1.
Yeah, it's just tired legs in there, and they've switched off. You know, Ben's done ever so well to come and get it, but then Cathcart and Chalobah sit in there, otherwise he would have been offside.
It's not easy watching that back, is it, when you see Watford concede so late on? But let's stick to the positives. And Robbo, for 95 minutes, it was a very solid defensive display, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Cathcart, Kabasele, Ekong, all three of them today were pretty impressive at the back there, controlling the area at times when the ball come in, defending like lions, as you call it, and throwing their body on the line there. Again, just disappointing with a 95th minute goal. It knocks the stuffing out of you as a defender, knowing that you've defended that long so well.
Yeah. If you rewind to the very start of the game, it was similar, wasn't it, to Blackburn, in that we absorbed quite a bit of pressure and then just got them on the counter with the first opportunity, Tommy.
Yeah, and a really well taken goal. Fabulous ball across from Sarr. He tried similar ones against Blackburn.
And actually a brilliant ball from Craig Cathcart into Sarr, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good switch of play, which we know that the manager wants.
Yeah.
And then Perica in between the posts where you want your number 9, and to tap it in with his left foot. So it was a really pleasing start, and obviously against a team who are alongside us favourites for promotion. It was positive. We just took backward steps instead of forward steps after that.
Yeah, I think from there on there's probably 2 main talking points. Number one, certainly between the fans, would be question marks over whether they should have had 10 players on the pitch, really, especially when you look at Lloyd Kelly being involved in the build-up to their equaliser ultimately.
Yeah, you could look at Lloyd Kelly's lunge on Sarr early on. I mean, mentioned it before, is that because it was so early on in the game, the referee probably didn't feel it was worthy of a red card, but the rules say if you go in, studs showing, dangerous tackle, it's a red card. And then you can look at Billings' incidents as well. He was quite lucky to stay on the pitch with some of his tackles that he went in with. Yeah,
who'd have thought we'd miss VAR? Hey, Tommy.
Well, ironically, if both of those, certainly the Lloyd Kelly one for me, when I watched it, I thought it was a bad tackle, but then there wasn't much of a reaction from the players, which suggested to me initially that I'd got it wrong. But looking back on it, yeah, that's definitely a red card on VAR. But nevertheless, you've got to adapt to the things that happen in the game. Some are positive, some are negative. You've just got to keep going. And like Robbo says, you know, the back three were excellent. Ben was excellent again tonight. But it was just, they kept on knocking at the door and eventually we let them in.
Yeah, I suppose that's the other talking point to take from this. Well, two parts really, Robbo. When you're out of sight, like we were against Blackburn, you get away with it. And we talked about it a little bit post-match with Craig Cathcart. It's just whether Ivic's approach is, yes, encouraging us almost to absorb all this pressure and then counter them. Whether that's a deliberate thing or not, we're still trying to work it out really, aren't we? Whether it's a good thing.
I just think it's a risk against a team like Bournemouth to go that deep, because you know what they're going to do, the pressure that they're going to put on you, the quality of attacking players that are continuously, not only their movement, but the balls that are coming in from all different angles. It's so hard to defend for that long. I just felt that they needed to just edge up a little bit more. Could they engage them higher up the pitch to not let the centre-halves come into our half and dictate play, or the midfielders, their movements then running off the back of our midfield were just causing our back three a lot more problems than maybe what we should have done.
Yeah.
Again, it's a talking point that when they look at it, watching the video, is do they really want to defend that deep, or again then next game can they move the team a little bit higher?
Well, we're all about exclusive reaction and interviews here on Hive Live Extra. So we're delighted now to welcome another first team player here into the studio to talk about today's game and how he's settled in so far at Watford. It's a big warm welcome to the Hornets defender, William Troost-Ekong. Hello.
Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, a little bit disappointed, I think, after today. But yeah, I think taking a point from this game isn't that bad. I think before the game, if you would have said that, we would have probably been happy with that.
Yeah, that's really interesting you said that, because that's exactly the case here in the studio. We said beforehand, I think someone had suggested a scoreline of 1-1, and we said, oh, we would take that. Obviously now you see it play out, you think, oh, you nearly held on 95 minutes, but you think that is the feeling in the dressing room, is it? You'd take a point.
Yeah, I think it was, of course, it was disappointing when you concede so late in the game. So it felt a bit like a loss, but I think if you look back at the game and without a bias view opinion, and I think they had the ball quite a lot as well, so I think a draw would have probably been a fair result in the end.
Your first full 90 minutes in a Watford shirt?
Yeah, I managed to hang on a bit. I think in the end I felt my hamstring at one moment. I think I'm still adjusting to the speed of the game, and also I didn't play so much before because my last game with my club was 3rd of August. And then I played in the international break, and I think everyone's waiting for me to arrive here, so I couldn't play that much in Italy at the time. So still trying to get my match fitness, so I'm happy to get 90 minutes in the legs as well. Yeah,
we were just making a note actually of all the other places that you've played: Holland, Turkey, Belgium. It's quite a list. So the Championship, how are you finding it so far?
It's different football. I think it's a little bit more direct. I think there's not so much time that we've really had the ball and teams sit off us, so I think that's the change. But yeah, I think it's a good quality so far what I've seen from the games, and I'm looking forward to it this season.
Well, from one Hornets defender of the past to the present, what have your thoughts of Will so far in a Watford shirt?
I thought he was outstanding today. The back three, like yourself, Cambasele and Craig, sort of controlled the box there. And the question I asked Craig the same question: was it your intentions to be nice and compact and that deep for them maybe to catch Bournemouth on the counter attack, or did you feel that there was times that you could have maybe just got up a little bit higher and stopped that pressure from coming into the box so much?
I think we probably should have tried and get up higher, especially in the second half. Some moments it was quite difficult because we didn't have the right pressure on the ball, I think, sometimes. And you saw in the first half they tried to play behind us quite a lot, and they probably did that so they would pin us back a bit. So Yeah, it was hard to control them. I think they moved the ball well, and as soon as we tried to get up the pitch and we didn't get pressure right on the ball, they try and play it behind us, and had some players that were quick as well. So we had to try and cover that space. And then there was a moment where we decided to let them have the ball a bit in the back line, because they obviously weren't too much of a threat there, and tried to wait for the moments to press. And I think that was better on occasions, but I think we could still improve on that.
Week after week, the conversation in here has been what another solid defensive display every single game. It's been really, really impressive the way that you've gelled as a three, which is a new thing for Watford this season as well. But I suppose you would have known Ben Wilmot, wouldn't you, from your time at Udinese?
Yeah, so I knew Ben before. We didn't play so much together, but in training we spent a lot of time together, and of course, as him being an English lad, I tried to help him a bit as well, settling in there. So I think he's done fantastic this season from what I've seen. I think playing on the left as a right-footed player is always a challenge, but he's hit some great balls with his left foot, and he looks comfortable out there. And I can say the same about Craig and about Caba as well. They've played really well, and I think that's going to be our foundation for the season, to try and get points. Is try to be solid at the back, and give the boys up front some calmness and some confidence as well when they're going forward. Yeah,
we've had a lot of talk in the studio here today about team spirit and the importance of it, and Robbo reflecting on your time under Graham Taylor and what a brilliant team you had and how you all got on. Seems like that's the case here as well, especially with the defenders. Do you get on as well off the pitch? I think we're all just wondering, what is the secret here? How have you gelled so quickly?
Yeah, I think the boys, they've welcomed me in well, so obviously I can only speak about the last 2 weeks that we've had together, or 3 weeks about. But I think all the boys are good. They try to talk to me as well off the pitch. They welcome me in the team, and it's not an occasion where we feel like that there's any rivalry. I think we're all fighting for the same spots, which is healthy competition and is keeping us sharp. But I think with the right intention, and everyone wants to win. And as you can see, I think the coach has made some rotations, and probably will do that throughout the seasons, because we've got so many games coming up. So everyone is just ready to step in and play well when they've got the chance. Yeah, I suppose this is where you bring it back to Vladimir Ivic, isn't it? The way that he's got competition for places, but really healthy competition. That's the point I was going to ask as well. How important's the manager been with them as well? Like the decisions as well. He's got great squad depth. How can he control everyone? Has he made you feel settled as well with how he wants you to play as a player? Yeah, he's made it clear what he expects from us. I think that's the biggest thing. And besides that, he also talks to the players. I think it's important. People see him as quite a serious person, I think, on the pitch, but he tries to talk to the players. He definitely spoke to me as well, and the good thing is I think he keeps everyone in the loop what he's doing. So if you maybe play well, but you're going to get rotated for the next game, at least you get the heads up from the manager, and I think that just helps as well. So there's no surprises, and everyone is just fighting to do well when they get the chance to play. Yeah, just finally to wrap up then, at the time of recording, Watford are third in the table. How excited are you about what this team can do this season? It's still a long way to go, so I don't want to talk about the table yet. But I think, I think we have so much quality in the team, and I'm happy some of the players stayed that were maybe going. And I think we have a really strong squad, and I think the more we play together, there's still so much room for improvement. So hopefully, we're only going to get better from here. Well, we can see from the slow-mo celebrations there from Stipe Perica, he certainly enjoyed scoring his first goal, and this is how you enjoyed it at home.
Yes! Well done, Perica! 1, 2, go. Hey! Get in now. Go on. Go on. Yes! Yes! Oh, yes, yeah, yes! Oh, yeah, yes, yes! Yes! Get in there! Unity!
Just some final thoughts then, gentlemen. Robert, I think at the time of recording, that puts us third in the championship table. So taking away the fact we have conceded a late equaliser here, please? Very pleased, yeah. It's like I say, a great start to the season for Watford after the disappointments of last year. It's always nice to be up there at the top when you get the season up and running. So again, a lot of positives from the game today, and just can they outline them ones then of just trying to see it out at the last minute? Yeah. And Tommy, would you expect to see them full of confidence again in time for Tuesday?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's always good to look at the positives in a disappointing day, because we feel like we've given away 2 points with a late goal. But I think certainly they're a handful and they'll be up there at the end. Josh King and Solanke, 2 of the best strikers in the Championship. Another 2 is Andre Gray and Troy Deeney, and they're still to come back for us. So I definitely take the positives. Along with Capue's performance and Quina when he came on, I thought it was a good day.
Yeah. Onwards and upwards. We'll leave it on that positive note. Tommy, Robbo, it's been brilliant to have you in the studio again, as always. We look forward to welcoming you back again soon. But for now, we'll say goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday evening. Hive Live will be back with all the build-up to that next game. We're away at Adams Park. We'll be taking on Wycombe Wanderers. We look forward to seeing you then.
Stop. Don't go anywhere. Click here for more videos.